I mean, maybe just come out with one story based on how the arena came about or something.
Or yeah,
you know.
KO losing his hand, or
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
or maybe a Victor story, so everyone can hate him more. How he's like stealing money from the poor or something. Well, everyone seems to hate him.
That's Rackney. He's plundering the poor.
I see what you did there.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Big Deck Energy. Today we are on episode 29. We're going to be going over some of our group's RTN experience. We'll be covering a little bit of the new set that we've heard some teasers about. It sounds like we're going to be in a new place that'll excite many historically unexcitable players. And we're just going to get into a little tech talk, I believe. But I'm just going to go ahead and go first because I've probably got the smallest amount to contribute to like the RTN and everything. My weekend fab was ditching the idea and pipe dream of bringing Riptide and doing good with them to an RTN. I have decided to scrap that idea. I have once again gone back to my old home of mechs, and in the testing that I was playing against Wesley's KO, it felt good. It felt really good. Like, I'm talking, I was probably averaging 18 damage a turn with a big turn pushing 39 damage.
Oh yeah,
Back to the roots.
That's going to be my bread and butter next weekend. I just hope the fickle mistress that is Dash decides to bless me with good deck draws, because the number one enemy of that deck is itself.
Yeah. How often are you hitting like your second cycle with Dash? Like you're playing like Tekla Leveler, straight boost, right?
What's a second cycle?
Exactly. so
I either win or I don't.
Right,
there's no second cycle.
And you don't like blocking either, so it's a true race whenever you're playing Clip. But
unless you're like forcing some on hit for discard, or like not giving me go again, I'm probably just gonna eat it because I can throw back double what you're giving me.
Yep. Well, I'm glad that you've finally come to your senses.
I'm still on the blaster plan. I'm just gonna refuse to say the first name so you guys don't get to give me shit about it. Because the way the deck is set up, it just feels so nice. Just every other turn getting that free 5 damage overpower.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, that's my short little weekend fab. Is I'm back onto Dash, and I'm hoping she's gonna treat me well.
Well, good.
So I'll let you guys. I don't know who we want to have go second. Do we want to save kind of the nitty gritty for the person that actually went to RTNs?
Well, yeah, I don't. Josh, you or Bailey did not play any fab this weekend, did you?
Yeah, I did not play any outside of some Talishar stuff.
I did not as well. Got back from a flight, so was in old Mexico and proposed the old lady. So,
oh yeah, congrats, dude.
Thank you. Thank you.
Join the club, man.
Yep.
It's all downhill from here. Or uphill? Is it uphill? Is it downhill?
It's an uphill battle.
It's one of them.
It's either way. But yeah, not much fab from me either. I will not be able to make it to next week either. I got a big event going on for the new ballpark thing in Minnesota. But Ty, you hit an RTN.
I did. So I played in the RTN in Minneapolis this weekend at Dumpster Cat Games. Shout out to those guys. It's always a pleasure playing there. It's a really cool spot. Attached to a pizza parlor right next to them. Good pizza, too. They have good beer.
Oh, yeah.
I always make the joke it's like dangerous playing there because there's just beer right there. Like,
it is.
For when you X2 and scrub out. But no, it was good, man. I played Teklo. I will say I was kind of like worried going into the tournament. I think I expressed it to you guys in the Discord just about, I could just get matched up with like a couple Dromais and maybe a Prism and get dumpstered all day. You know, if the gem gods don't grace me with the matchups, you know, I can just kind of, my tournament ends before it even begins, you know?
Yep.
And that's, I mean, I don't want to say that's what happened, but that is kind of what happened. I lost so my day started out against a Max player named Gabriel, very, very nice guy. Deck was actually very good too. Seemed very consistent. Seemed like he has been working on it like for a while. He transformed into the construct very early, and I remember thinking, "Oh, this is perfect." He did it too early, right? But he kind of played around and just like did this. He wasn't really attacking with it every time, every turn. I want to say he did hit like a high octane turn, which allowed him to attack a couple times with it. Blew my whole hand up, and then like still snuck in I think 15 or 16 damage afterwards, which you know put me in a tight spot. But I did withstand all of the attacks on the construct, and then ended up on 2 life at the end of the game. He had 4 cards in deck, all blues, and then he just kind of lost the ability to have go again because he didn't have a deck. So I was able to just block his 1 attack per turn and fatigue him out. Honestly, that game felt, I mean, generally when I'm playing mechs, I feel comfortable. And that game did not feel comfortable at all. I was telling him, like, man, you are onto something with this deck because it was very, you know, a lot faster than most Macs I've seen. But I ended up winning that one by the skin of my pants and started the day out 1-0, so that was good. Round 2, I played into Luke Magnuson, very good player in the Minnesota area. He was on Phi. I mean, just kind of lost to, you know, typical Phi stuff. I remember going first in that. I like to go first in a lot of games. But in that game specifically, my draw, that very first few turn cycles can either keep me in the game or keep me out of the game.
Yep.
I drew no Evos, no D-reacts. Like the perfect turn 1 against the Fire. Turn 0 is you just play an Evo, Arsenal, your sink below. So that didn't happen. Second cycle or second turn, no Evos, no D-reacts. It was just kind of a clunker of a start for me. Was forced to block a lot with my armor from hand, which made me have to save cards to scrap. So it was kind of like doing the scrap plan, which is generally better against Guardians.
Yep.
When you're doing the scrap plan against aggro decks, it can hurt. So yeah, he kind of just, I mean, I don't think I did a damage to him. He ended the game at 40 plus. I think it was just 40. But round 3, so yeah, I was 1-1 at that point. Round 3, I played a dash. My opponent sat down and said he was on dash, and I was like, shit, another mech, okay, they're pretty fast. He proceeded to flip over his armor, and I was like, oh, he's on, like, fatigue dash.
Yep.
I was like, this is great. I'm probably 90% into this matchup or something, you know? Yeah. Ended up really, I mean, I won that game pretty handedly, transformed into Singularity at the end of the game, you know, set up the tanks, did the crazy thing.
Yep.
First time I got to combo all day. That was cool. So started the day, or I was 2-1 at that point, feeling good. Teklo was humming. Every time I told someone I was on Teklo, they'd do the typical, oh, dude, no way, what? You brought a shitty deck?
You actually brought him?
Yeah, exactly. But then we had like a halftime where they gave us pizza.
It's always good.
They had the pairings up already. Oh yeah, they have really good pizza too. There's just like
It's always good.
10 pizzas in the middle, you know.
Immaculate.
Yeah, it was awesome. Bunch of nerds. But the pairings were up. So for 30 minutes, I sat there, and I knew I was playing Joseph Mendez, another buddy from the Minnesota area, good player. Always a pleasure playing him. And I asked Dietz. I know Dietz was sitting there. I was like, hey, do you know Joseph's on? And he just turns around and he goes, Joe, what are you on? And he just yells across the room. I'm like, he's like, he's on Dromai. And I'm like, fuck. I was just hoping he wasn't on Dromai. I know he plays Dromai.
Yep.
That's kind of an auto loss for me. And it was. That game didn't feel close at all. So then I was 2-2 at that point. And then the round after that, I played into something I've never seen before. Very cool deck. My opponent's name was Cole. Played against him multiple times over the years. Also another good dude. I feel like I say that about everyone. They're all good dudes.
Yeah, they're all great dudes
for the most part. But he was on a Centauri Saber hot streak build on Dory. And let me tell you, man, you know, when I'm so used to blocking Kasai's with armor and stuff, not worrying about things like reprise, it was annoying. His reprise was on, like, it was...
Reprise is brutal.
Well, and you're not really expecting it from the dual wield thing, you know? And then, but like, he was really taking advantage of it with like his Dory triggering on his sword attacks, which like hot streak would get go again. And then for the turn, right, it has go again.
Yep.
So then if that ever hits, you get to attack again with it.
Yep.
Because of Dory. And that was just something I was very unfamiliar with and hadn't seen. So I'd like to think that like I lost that game. It did feel like there was a few turns where I probably could have done things differently to give myself that one extra turn, because my singularity was that next turn cycle. If I can just draw that hand and somehow survive in singularity, I probably win. But he got me on like a double singing steel blade at the end when I blocked from hand and pumped it up to like 11 and routed me and did all the things.
Double singing steel blade. You get the
went got a
Iron
route
Song response.
and a
Route.
It was just...
It
was
I know
good.
that play.
You know, yeah, I bet you do. It was no, that one. I mean, that one kind of ended my day, honestly, and it sucked. I do want to say it sucked because I like felt like I was probably ahead for most of that game, and it kind of just slipped away. And yeah, I mean, Cole's a great player too. He's always on some really cool brew. Like last time I played him, he reminded me that he was on like Hatchet Dory.
Yeah,
you know, he's always doing some crazy shit.
He's a Dory player to the end.
Yeah, I think he's like always been on Warriors since
dual wield warrior.
Yeah, you're
always
right.
Dual
you're right.
Warrior.
Now that I think of it, I think you're right. Yeah. But yeah, after that kind of, you know, that was kind of when I just went and got a beer. I was like, fuck, it's time to drink. You know, one more round. You know, I'll try to go 3-3, maybe salvage some elo, and lo and behold, I get paired into good buddy Sean from our team, and him and I played in the old basement at Dumpster Cat. They have this little walk-in cellar basement place that you go down into, and there's a couple tables set up down there. Yeah, smacked up Sean. Wasn't gonna steal
where
my
they take
elo.
the O2 drops, man.
Oh, I mean, it was the scrubs. Yeah, it was the dredges of the tournament down there at that point.
The gulag, one may say.
It was the last round, and yeah, just playing for elo at that point.
Got to maintain the elo.
Sean was on Fi. His deck is a lot different than Luke's deck. So I just like to think also, I've played against Sean plenty of times on that deck, so I kind of know what Sean's doing with it. But, you know, I told him this week he should just switch to KO or some go crazy, you know. Fi is like go crazy, but KO's just go more crazy. Does more damage, probably more Sean style.
I want him to play Kasai.
Really?
I really do. I think he'd like it. I mean, it's kind of like that mid-range deck that's not like too aggro, where you can have your aggro turns, but not at the same time. Yeah. You can play defensive, but no, sounds like you had a decent time.
No, it wasn't bad. Like, Tekla was fine. I think my deck list was solid and strong. There's not many things. If anything, I'm going to switch this weekend. There might be 1 or 2 cards. And I was happy that like the deck didn't embarrass me, you know, like that was also the risk you run of bringing a deck like that. You just can get embarrassed.
Not going 0-3 drop or anything like that,
just,
you know?
Yeah. And I would like to think that it performed well. I just kind of got unlucky with pairings and then, you know, lost a close one that I probably could have, like I said, played a little differently if I would have known exactly what's going on, you know. I just didn't really know what the fuck was going on in that game against Cole, where it was just... And against a warrior, you want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really good day, man. It was the Minnesota community. I can't express enough how like awesome our community is, and it's so fun to see those guys like, you know, once or twice a year we do. And yeah, you know, we all showed up with our shirts this time.
Yes.
So we actually looked like a functioning team.
Do want to give a shout out to the 2 guys on our team that did make top 8, Wes and Carter on Arachne and KO. They did get beat in the top 8 right away, but hey, good job, guys, for making it to top 8.
Yeah. Wes...
Got props. I know Wes was...
Go ahead, baby.
He was talking about it in our Fab group chat throughout the week, and he seemed pretty nervous.
Yeah, it was his first...
he decided to come down and just clap. First RTN, man shows up and he pulls a top 8. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That's some big deck energy right there.
Damn right.
He said it
going
was first event above an armory
Yep.
ever.
Yep.
So
Yep.
goes to show how like skilled he is at the game. You know, with
Oh,
a
yeah.
little more polishing. I mean, he can play for contention at any of these. You
Oh
know?
yeah, big time.
He probably lost some games just due to maybe not knowing. You know, like I think against Dylan, he had said that like he maybe played into what Dylan was doing instead of just doing what he was trying to do. Like you know, do what your deck's doing a little more type of thing. You know, and ignore.
That's what I've been trying to establish with them is, the game, they might be doing some tricky things, but for deck like KO, who you're running, it's kind of a polar opposite of Bravo, where Bravo wants to have some sort of interplay against the other deck. KO just wants to focus on KO unless they're going to give some on hit. Very much like a mech that's very aggro in that aspect of it, where he just wants to focus on himself. He just wants to do what he does, which is create a shit ton of mites, create an agility, and swing for 16 to 20 a turn. He just wants to do his thing.
Yeah.
And I do also want to give another shout out to another listener on BDE, Gabriel Guerrero. Your round one match into that max. He's the guy that approached me at the case tournament me and Wes went to, where I brought that max deck to test out, and I got absolutely stomped on. He actually watched the game against Sebastian on Levia, and he watched me get the construct out, attack once with it, and then Sebastian blew up my construct. And at that point, it's just like, well, shit, I'm done. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Gabriel. Congrats on making top 4 and getting your qualification for Nats, dude.
Yeah, definitely. I did not know that was the guy that recognized you, Cliff. Maybe I just don't have the sultry voice that you do, and he didn't recognize my voice or something. But
you can't whisper into people's ears like I can.
No. Cliff's got a pretty distinct voice. Not gonna lie.
yeah, he does.
The old big red dog.
But yeah, so also Carter, congrats to him. Arachne, you know, he's put the reps in on that deck. I feel like that's the type of deck that's going to reward pilots for putting the deck or the reps in. Also, like, I mean, you can catch people that are just like, oh shit, what is this deck even doing? Because like not many players are on Arachne, you know. It's the same thing. Like I feel
Arachne
like
is sneaky good right now.
Yeah, no, I think so. There was 2 Arachnes in the top 8. I guess I can go over the top 8 of our RTN here. We had a Kasai, we had a Combo Bolton, we had Dorinthia, a KO, Wes, shout out Wes. The only KO in the top 8.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you, man.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I mean, didn't he just put the deck together recently? Like,
Yeah.
it's awesome. 2 Arachnes, Carter being one of them. We had a Katsu as well in the top 8. And then, the max player, Gabriel. Pretty
What
crazy
an absolute
top 8.
lineup on that top 8.
I
Yeah,
know.
that's
pretty
a
sweet.
good
It just goes to
spread.
show you that you can fucking play anything. Like just play what you like right now. This is like the perfect meta for.
I was just about to say perfect meta. We're not stuck in that triangle where it's Lexi.
No, there's
him. Like,
truly
none
no
of that.
triangle right now. I
No.
don't think there's definitely like maybe like a triangle in archetypes where there is like fatigue decks right now. There are like kind of the aggro, you know, more aggro decks like KO and maybe Katsu and the ninjas and stuff. I mean,
Definitely-
shit, that max deck was a
It definitely
crazy
comes,
aggro deck.
Definitely comes down to like being familiar with your deck and the pilot skills that you have behind your deck right now. It's
Oh, yeah, I think so,
anybody's
too.
game,
Yeah,
like
I
we
think
were
so, too.
saying, which is good. But
Bolton won the event. Shout out John Magnuson.
That's
I believe John is on the Wolfpack. So
I think so.
yeah, he's kind of he's a really good player. He wins a lot of our events.
We had 2 Wolfpack players in that top.
I believe
8.
actually that's who Wes lost to
Was it
in the top 8. Yeah,
Bolton?
Yeah, he lost to John.
Yes,
and
it was
Bolton.
to the Bolton, I believe.
Yep.
Hey, if you're gonna lose to somebody, lose to the winner, right?
I actually told him. I said, "Hey, man, don't just try not to beat yourself up. Like you did so well. You like surpassed what most people could ever hope for to go to their first RTN.
Yeah.
And I tried to, tell him, look, like he's a really, really good player. Like it was, you can't beat yourself up too much.
Wes might get an invite to the Wolfpack here pretty soon.
That's funny. So I mean, are you guys, Cliff? You said you're coming up this weekend, right, to RTNs, or I guess coming down because you're up north.
Yeah, I should be coming down, and like I said, I'm just going to be bringing Old Reliable. I'm going to try to give Dash another run here. She feels like she's got the tools, man.
Yeah.
The interactions are there. You just gotta take your take your opportunities.
Well, you've had a lot of
That's
reps on
probably
her too, like what Josh was saying. Like, I feel like that's just important right now.
Yeah.
You've played a lot of Dash, so you know exactly what the fuck's going on and, you know, when to pull the trigger and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's everything. Just constantly pull the trigger.
As in Cliff does.
Bailey, are you playing in the RTN this weekend? Question mark?
I will be working,
Damn it.
unfortunately.
Damn it.
2 out of the 4.
Yep.
Wish I could make one.
Yeah, that's all right, though. I mean, shit, you know, it happens. I know we got the ProQuest that... did we even announce that? We didn't even announce that. We should probably...
yeah.
We can save that to the end, too. I mean, we could even bring this up now just as a sidebar. Our last episode got lost in the ether, so I do want to apologize to any listeners that were looking forward to an episode this week. We did record one. We actually had a fun episode where we had some listeners come on and ask us questions live, and I think we're going to do that same thing next weekend.
Yes.
With those same listeners, because I don't want them to, you know, feel like we lost their...
No.
You know, content. It was good. It was good too.
Hopefully, maybe even more.
Yeah,
If we got time for it. But you want to rip that announcement?
Yeah. Well, so after we've been playing at Legends for what 3-4 years now, I think, something like that. We got our first ProQuest at Legends on Main in Watertown.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of crazy,
Insane.
little card shop that could, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we've always had a good representation, too. And even when Bates was, like, the head judge in Minnesota, he was saying to us, like, hey, Legends is, like, a top shop. So
In terms of just, like,
Consistent player
attendance.
base.
Attendance
Yep.
and stuff. Which is, I think, I mean, ProQuests are generally given out based on that type of stuff. Like, if you're not firing every week and with good numbers, like, I don't think you'll be getting ProQuests very often, you know? So yeah, it's good to, I don't know, get a little recognition, man. It's pretty awesome.
it'll be good. And depending on like player cap and whatnot,
also, I mean, we can just announce that too. I mean, we kind of already talked about it. We will not be capping it.
nope.
The event will be held at the community center, which is a block from the card shop.
And we highly recommend going to the card shop. It's a cool little area, and they got Italian ice and stuff there that you can snack on and stuff like that. But the community center will be plenty big for
We're gonna have
a lot
just,
of players.
The issue that we ran into really with it was like if we do it in house and we do it at the shop, we would have to cap it. And even if we capped it at 32, that's still like we would have to move a ton of stuff around the shop to even fit like that amount of tables. And because I mean it's a pretty small like sports memorabilia shop. We kind of play in the back room, sort of, you know,
Yep.
little.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
It's good vibes.
No, it's a great shop. Like we have just such a good community there, I think.
Absolutely.
That we've built over the years. And yeah, it's just cool to like get recognition. And like, I mean, a lot of our players from the cities just have never been to Legends because we're so far out. We're about a 45 to an hour drive for most.
It's honestly one of the easiest drives
It is.
ever
No,
have.
it's a straight shot. You go down just 212 or whatever highway.
You just go down 94,
That's what I meant.
394,
That's what I
and
meant, yeah.
6.
Yep.
Easiest drive ever. It's literally make 2 turns and you're there.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good.
So yeah, I can't wait for that. No cap. We're gonna
Nope.
try to get as many players we can in that biatch. And
We want to, and I know one of the shop workers there talked to us, and he's like, "Why don't you guys get a BDE corner going and like interview some of the people in the top 8 and stuff?" So
have the judge open his pack. I have to get you that video.
yes,
We got Peter's judge pack this weekend too on video.
That'll
So
be good.
he said we could use it for
Good.
content. So.
Good. We always love extra content. Can't complain. But why don't we get into some of the bigger news that we got this week? We are getting some news about the new set already. Hate talking about this when a set comes out a month later.
You just said that too.
Already
You just said
getting,
that
like-
last week.
Like teasers for it.
And it's interesting. Hopefully the Ninja players are happy.
Do you want to go over the name
What?
of it?
I don't know. Dylan seems kind of upset by the news.
I know that we are diving right into the Mistland. So it's called Part the Mistland, or the Mist Veil.
Yep.
So it's based on the Mistlands.
Do you want to just read that little excerpt?
Yeah, I'll read it there. So it reads, "For 10,000 years, our ancestors have walked the path well traveled. Like the tiger stalking its prey, they have waited. Like the snake hiding in the murky water, they have waited. Like the waning faces of the moon, They have waited. Until now, the truth lies beyond the mist. But no, we're getting right into some of these interesting new sets. And with the picture that they presented, it looks like we had some talk about potentially the Icelander with the white hair, or even maybe a different kind of
No, I think
illusionist.
I mean,
maybe?
I think it's like the generic illusionist.
Could be
the
getting
blue and
the
illusionist
blue,
instead.
yes, the blue one that we've all been waiting for. I forget her name.
She's on one of the
Yeah,
Flicker Trick, right? I think is the card.
You know, I want to say Carter actually put it in the
He definitely did.
Discord.
He did.
Amira Surana, that is the hero's name, and she is the like blue themed illusionist on all these cards.
It is on Flicker Trick, right?
Yep.
Is that? Yep.
Yep, you're right.
Yep.
Something about the little like few sentences that they gave us. I thought there's probably something to gain from this, like, or like hints. Honestly, the tiger stalking its prey makes me think crouching tigers. Like maybe the new ninja will be like tiger or crouching tiger theme, giving like the Phoenix Flame vibes for from
Could
5.
we potentially get a new Ira? An
Well-
old Ira?
So I don't know about that because Ira I think is based in the story like 5,000 years before like
Yeah,
the current.
Ira's like dead.
Yeah, she's like
What
a.
if she got resurrected?
I mean, what if necromancer incoming?
Right.
Somehow.
Romancer Ninja? Hello?
Oh, shit.
Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm not really sure what this whole snake hiding in the murky water thing is, but I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of snake theme token thing.
Is
or-
Do you want,
is that the
do-
necromancer question?
That's
No.
no.
Or would that be
Ne-
a...
What I
necromancer
think
doesn't
it
feel like it
is-
fits here. This feels like mystical.
What I think
and
it is
Not wrong.
is we have the tiger, like the ethereal tigers, right? That the ninjas can create and attack with.
Mhm.
What are they actually classified as? Like, what's their type? Are they just like is it ephemeral? Is that what they have as the card text?
You mean yeah, but I think they're just actions or attack actions still.
Yeah.
like they're considered an
Right,
attack action.
I'm wondering if maybe that we're going to have a ninja kind of operate closer to an assassin with the snake now, maybe spawn something akin to the Bloodpox tokens or actually do that while still maintaining some of the ninja combo abilities.
Sure.
True.
The waning faces of the moon make me just think wizard, obviously with the waning moon reference. Also, something that Dylan brought to my attention this weekend. If we do get a ninja, an illusionist, and a wizard, that will be this is going to be kind of the sister set to Uprising.
Uprising 2.0.
Uprising was very red themed, draconic, so maybe we get the opposite of that.
Blue illusion.
Not really sure what that is, what the opposite of that is, but like this set is very blue and seems more calm and cool, and
Yep.
so
I agree.
maybe the new talent. They did announce that there will be an all new talent that has never been seen before in Wraith with this set, which makes me think something opposite of draconic.
Water.
Mist.
Waterbender.
They're gonna
Mist
bring
Ninja.
the alchemist in. They're gonna have a Guinness what you need in there, just doing random shit with potions.
Oh,
That's
don't
what
get
it's gonna
Bailey
be.
hard right now.
Because he will. He'll get hard over Guinness.
You know how cool that would fucking be, but he can't be an alchemist, man. He's a merchant.
He's the merchant alchemist, man.
Hey, he's seen
No.
some shit. We all know.
No. Just give me adult Guinness.
Can't
No,
believe we're getting a bunch of new ninja stuff though.
I know.
Feels like-
Hey,
Yeah, for real.
pipe him down.
That's true. That's true. Feels like we're always giving ninja stuff,
Well, I mean, good that we can
Well,
hopefully
don't let
get a
them hear
good
you
set.
say that.
Yeah, I know. It's weird though because like there's only 2 ninjas, right, in CC that you can play.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
weird.
Katsu.
With all the like support they've gotten, the fact that
They
they
have
have like
so much support, and the fact that they only have 2 heroes, though, kind of blows my mind.
Yeah, but there
I
was
think that's
4
the
Blitz
biggest issue
heroes.
with them.
There was 4 Blitz heroes. Is the weird thing.
yeah, Blitz is. I don't know if you can even like compare or like take anything from that because like Blitz is so fucking weird and all over
That's
the
true.
place. They
That's
have.
true.
It's just a weird like format in terms of just like class balance. But yeah,
No.
this set. I mean, dude, it's gonna be pretty sweet. It looks cool. This initial art we have is sweet, and it does look like we're probably getting some arcane stuff, some illusionist stuff, maybe.
Good.
You know.
Give me another wizard.
Are we gonna keep up with the old 3-class 6-hero thing? That seems to be working. It seems to be kind of.
I like it,
Seems really good.
especially for the limited aspect. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I think in terms of limited especially is where I think it's gonna shine. Did you also hear the changes in limited that they're thinking about doing?
For sealed,
Or yes, I'm sorry. It is sealed that the
Yep.
changes are coming. Where
8 packs.
you get 8 packs.
And 30 cards,
Yep.
specifically.
Has to be 30.
Yep.
You cannot make more than a 30 card deck.
Which I think is good because, let me tell you, when we did limited and I was able to almost fit every kind of one of my cards in my limited deck, I was able to have like 35 or 6, and that definitely makes
Yeah.
an edge.
You will, yeah.
your
Having more
deck.
than 30 always just ensures that like you will be the one to fatigue your opponent, or you just have that insurance in case they're trying to do it to you. The fact that they're taking that away makes me think they just don't want fatigue to be a part of limited. You know,
I think even Brian Gottlieb said on
or sealed. I keep saying limited, but
on a pod episode of Flakes, I think it was, that they really want to steer away from the whole fatigue aspect.
I thought he was saying he still wanted to kind of respect it though, because I actually know what you're referring to, because he was saying like how he understands how like players don't like it, but it's also he wants it to still be a part of Fab, or
Yeah, they just don't
maybe
ever
just not limited.
They just don't ever want it to be an Oldhim fatigue ever again.
Or like Teclopiles, dude. That was the worst. You know, that felt terrible.
Yep.
That felt absolutely terrible. Where you just like everyone is just on this Teclopile, and you can like, I mean, essentially you could have most of the fucking 8-person pod on a Teclo. You know, like there's probably 1 dash and 1 max, and the rest are Teclo. Like, how often did that happen?
The weird thing is, I always kind of dug the idea of crack shuffle play, and it doesn't seem like crack shuffle play is really viable in any of these sets where we have the 6 heroes, you know, and it's not all one card pool, which is kind of weird, but also kind of good, I guess, in a sense. I mean,
Crack shuffle play felt like an afterthought. Like they were kind of like, oh wait, we could do this.
Yeah.
After the set was made.
I think it's just good for new player bases, like really good for new player bases to get people into the game.
Yeah,
but at the
I
same
agree.
point, you can't really have that be a top tier event type thing. Like maybe a skirmish, maybe. And that's like at
No,
that.
I think you just keep that casual, because I
Yeah.
mean, you could just get absolutely boned.
That's true. Your 3 packs could just.
It also didn't make sense because you don't start with like a full set of equipment. Neither
That's
one
true.
of you in 6 packs have a full set of equipment, so you can't actually like play with just the 3 packs. And I thought that was like kind of the design of it.
Yeah.
And like here we are, we just kind of it's already done and gone, and we've already forgot about crack shuffle play. You know, doesn't
Yeah.
seem like a thing that will be coming back anytime soon. you know?
Unless we get that all wizard set.
Right, you'd have to have a set that has.
God, that'd be such an
A theme
interesting
or
set to bring it back
class
for.
I know. But I don't know. I just think that the whole, limited aspect, they've really changed the game in that whole aspect. This with the seal change that they're going to do, with the whole, drafting with 6 heroes, you got 3 and 3. It seems to work out better, and a lot of people like it.
You know what I just realized, Josh? This first line on this says, "For 10,000 years, our ancestors have walked the path well traveled." I was just saying how like Ira's like 5,000 years old. Like, what if they do give us some sort of adult Ira?
That's why I was saying it,
I mean, we are playing like a
because we don't know how old half the other heroes are.
yeah. Well, yeah, I know. I think right now though the story, like there is a story being told that they're going,
Yeah.
building towards this ultimate like.
Have we
battle.
still gotten anything on heavy hitters?
no
lore?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
I don't think there's really lore space for it.
But again,
though.
I don't know if there's like meant to be. Maybe there's just like, hey, there's this just like arena and there's tournaments there, and we get a snippet with this set kind of into the arena, and that's just kind of it. Maybe
True.
there is no like,
I mean, maybe just come out with one story based on how the arena came about or something.
or yeah,
you know.
KO losing his hand, or
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
or maybe a Victor story, so everyone can hate him more. How he's like stealing money from the poor or something. Well, everyone seems to hate him.
That's Rackney. He's plundering the poor.
I see what you did there.
But no, I mean, it always feels cruel talking about some of these new sets as soon as we get one.
No,
you know?
I know. I mean,
But-
it is going to come out in a few months, though. It's
I
kind
know.
of crazy how like you said, a set will come out and a few weeks later, we're on to the next one.
Lo and behold, a few weeks is like a month almost by time flying by. You know?
Dude, it doesn't slow down.
No.
It's so fast. It goes by so fast.
But we're supposed to get 3 sets this year, right?
Yeah, I think it's 3. Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
3 per year, or is it 4?
I think it's 3.
Okay.
Right.
I don't know.
Because it would always be 2 supplemental and 1 draftable, or 2 draftable and 1 supplemental. But I don't know.
What do you guys think for classes? What's our final?
I do
Obviously,
like,
ninja. We're going to Mysteria.
Yeah,
If you're
yeah.
unfamiliar with that is where the ninjas.
If there isn't a
hail
ninja,
from.
they did it wrong.
Yeah, it's Mysteria. It's like going to Savage Lands with no brute or
Yeah.
something.
I do like that whole aspect. It's weird to say though, because like you think about it with the whole wizard aspect, Blues was Icelander.
Mm-hmm.
So are we gonna get a remake of an Icelander?
I don't know. You'd have to make her elemental, and I don't know if they're gonna have elemental plus a new talent in this set.
True.
Right? That feels weird or clunky.
True. So
Hey, maybe Mysteria took her powers, man. We don't know.
Or
what
yeah,
they
sure.
did.
Maybe she just has the new talent. But then like you don't get to use any of her old cards.
she got melted
which would be
down,
weird.
man. She got melted
She's
down.
a
Yeah,
lunar wizard or something now.
lunar. Yeah, that could be.
They
cool.
can fix the waning moon. And
I mean, the art also has like a half moon kind of in it, so that would make sense.
There is also that it's a common mask from Outsiders, the Mask of Many Faces.
Mhm.
Is that the one that lets you pick the name of a card to continue combat?
It
your
does.
combo
Combo.
chain?
It
Yep.
does.
I'm wondering if maybe because they're hinting at the waning phases of the moon, we might see some hero who might be able to have that as a hero ability.
Maybe.
Something akin to Katsu's tutoring, but instead of like tutoring up the card, you just get to rename it if the
name of a
conditions are
card
met.
to- Oh, that'd be interesting.
That would be. I always hate doing some of these speculations because I
I
feel like
know.
we're always
Where do you
so
even
far.
start?
Yeah,
like where do you even start?
We try diving into like the wording of it, and like most of the time, not even close. But
We nailed the arena for a fabled though.
we did do
Yep.
that. We did do that. We did call the landmark. That is true.
Yeah, I just hope this set's going to be
But-
another good like limited set.
Yeah.
I feel like they really nailed heavy hitters, and now they kind of have like a baseline to go off of. I feel like, and I feel like they're kind of showing that they're less scared to like push that line and give us like cards that are fucking pushed. I mean, Cast Bones is
It's disgusting.
really good.
That card's nuts.
I do want to say we were so hyped and high on Ancestral Harmony. Seeing that card,
Apparently, that card is ass.
Well-
apparently, that's not the card to play.
well, I don't know if it's ass. I still think it's okay. The problem with it is like you just whiff sometimes, and then like you attack twice and you get like 2 points of value off it or
That's-
some bullshit.
I called that.
Well, yeah, I guess it just, again, it's one of those cards where like you read it and you're like, oh, how can this be bad? And I'm not saying it's bad, but in practice, when you actually see the card, like Dylan whiffed like I think all 3 times he played them in one of our testing games.
Oh,
He just like played it, fucking put Art of War in the bin, played
Oof.
another one, put Ancestral in the bin. Like it was real unlucky, but it was still just like, oh shit, you really get to see the floor of that card, and I don't think it's as good as we maybe initially thought.
no.
I still think the ceiling on that card is a hell of a lot higher than the floor is.
Yeah, I mean, you're not really running too many actions in your Ninja Katsu deck. So when you whiff, you're either whiffing on your Art of War or you're whiffing on an Ancestral, which is a very
And
big
that's
feel bad.
Bad.
Yeah, which is a very big feel bad. But at the same time, I did say it's not that great.
Yeah, I think I remember you being the one
It's
to
just like
calm us down.
it's just like a decent tome, like the Tome of Imperial Flame. Like the ceiling on that card can be very high, but at the same time, it's not game changing where it's making that hero be the top hero of the meta
yeah.
by any means. But that card
Another
could
tool
make
in the toolbox.
that card could make a difference in this new set if we get a ninja. So we don't know. We don't know. Do you guys think?
I do have a question for you guys. Oh, sorry, Josh.
No, I was just gonna say another question. You go first.
Okay, so we saw from heavy hitters when that set released, we saw them come out swinging hot. We've seen multiple top eights that have had the heavy hitters and the ones that we've expected to see. We've seen Kasai and we've seen KO doing extremely well in the current meta. What do you guys think the heroes from this next set are going to be? Are they going to have that same kind of impact? I know we don't know a whole lot about them, though. But given how we saw heavy hitters perform, do you think it'd be fair to say that it's likely that the heroes from this next set are going to have some absolute dogs in it?
You pretty much just took the words out of
Yeah.
my mouth for that question.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna
Sorry,
ask.
Josh.
No, I was gonna ask the exact same shit, dude. It's a good question too, and you're right. They have impacted. Guardians, on the other hand, have not really impacted too much on the meta.
No. I think they're one of the better, or maybe not like the best performing right now, but there are definitely a lot of people on Guardian right now.
Don't get me wrong. Like Victor's pretty good. No,
Yeah, I guess maybe Victor isn't making the impact that KO is, or whatever. But like Victor is pulling people from Bravo, and that
Yeah.
means something. Like he's
Yeah.
got to be, there's got to be something there. I still think Victor needs some figuring out. I think players are trying, and
some fine tuning. Absolutely, absolutely.
There's a lot of people excited about Victor, so there's definitely something in that deck that people are seeing.
Maybe we just haven't heard it in the community yet. Is the real question.
yeah.
Do you guys think, another good question for the set, do you guys think, so we've named a couple heroes that we might see return. Do you guys think they're just going to come out with three new heroes again, or do you think there's going to be 5 new heroes potentially, like they did in Heavy
Like
Hitters?
new characters, you mean?
Yeah, new.
Oh my god.
Because
Oh my god.
that's kind of what we did in Heavy Hitters. I mean, I know KO got a revamp, and Rhinar is just Rhinar, and Kasai got a revamp,
Yeah.
but like,
So not technically new characters.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, if we get that illusion,
I have a
she's new.
prediction. I have a prediction.
What's your
We're getting adult Benji this next set.
Crouching Tigers,
Dude.
baby.
adult Benji and
Because-
adult Ira? Question mark.
I'm thinking so, because blue is generally, that's your least attack power, right? If this set is centered around blues and we're going to be seeing a lot more blues played, what ninja is going to be better at playing blues than all the others?
That's true.
The one that makes them unblockable from cards from hand.
That's true.
Tanner's probably losing his mind right now.
Once he listens to
Please
it.
give me fucking.
Fuck
Once-
yeah.
Once he hears that, he's just going to be like, oh my god.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense though, Cliff. Like, if they're gonna do it, why not do it now?
This would be the time to do it.
This
Yeah.
would be the set to do it.
Yeah,
You're
Benji. Do you make him have the same ability, or do you just like revamp him like the other one?
I feel like they might revamp him.
Yeah.
Like
If we're going
definitely.
to do
Can you
the
have
blue
unblockable
set-
damage in CZ? I don't know. It seems, I don't know.
That's hard.
If we're gonna do the blue set, I think it has to be akin to what a split's ability is, but I think it's gonna be centered around the blues, especially since the tome for the ninjas we saw is also a blue. It would make sense that Benji being released in the set, if he does come, is gonna have some benefit for playing blue cards.
Like Ty was saying, Uprising was mainly red, and like if you look at most of the other ninjas, they do run like majority blues just because of Kadachis, and the Kadachi lock is a hell of a time to fight through when they're just like pitching all their blues, blocking with half their other cards, and just saving their cards for Kadachi every turn. Well, not 4 times in a turn, but you get what I mean by that.
Yeah.
Like Katsu, I would say majority of your deck, I would say like a third almost is blues, which is pretty wild. I don't know. It's all good speculations I think we've had.
The thing with Benji too, like, he's actually like got a spot in the story, right? Like in Outsiders, if you remember, he was traveling around with Katsu, trying to find like cures or.
And it initially started off as Katsu alone, so he picked up Benji somewhere.
Oh, is that the story? Okay.
Technically, because
I just know they were in the pits looking for like cures to
Yeah.
all those afflictions or diseases. They were happening throughout the like Mysteria, and all the different tribes in Mysteria were like
Yeah.
suffering from blood rot and suffering from the frailty and the inertia and whatever. And that's like why I know they were there in the pits was they were
Was that
so
reason?
now maybe they're going back to Mysteria with the Kiers, and maybe we get that kind of lore with this set. So yeah, you might have nailed that, Cliff. Might have nailed the Benji thing because it makes sense.
Also makes sense
Makes sense in the lore
that
too.
Benji being like, unblockable, he's sneaky kind of like that. If he was the school of the snake ninja, like they kind of hinted at in the text.
Well, I think wouldn't Crouching Tigers be Benji because they're one? They just come in for one, and they're
Well, technically, they revamped Ira on the UPF around the table with
kind of
Crouching
centered
Tiger.
her for
What do
the
you mean?
Crouching Tigers.
Ira and the UPF
what do you
round
mean
the
they
table.
revamped? Like, what did they just build a deck that?
Well, Ira's the same Ira, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But they just built her around Crouching Tiger completely.
Mm.
Because, the Link's arms are like the legs too, I think they are. So that's where I think the Crouching Tiger is like the mainstay for that. But,
Yeah.
the Crouching Tigers do work well in Benji, I will say.
Mm-hmm.
Very well.
They do work very well.
It's hard to say they don't. But, well, is there anything else you guys want to touch on this subject?
I don't think so.
Bailey, any last thoughts you have on it?
No, I think we've kind of hit it all.
Fair enough.
We were also going to get into our monthly February questions. I'm gonna have to scroll down here and fucking find them because
I know.
we were chatting so much in the questions tab where I have the ones that started in February, but I'll just scroll down as we answer them. You guys just want to get into the questions right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can get into
Everyone
some
good?
questions.
Carter asks, "What is your favorite color?" Love these kind of questions. I'm definitely more of a cool color kind of guy, like maybe a blue or a purple. Not a big fan of like red or yellow, those loud colors. Also a huge Vikings fan, so
Yeah. I would have to agree with that statement. Some of my favorite like Pokemon and shit were fucking blue. Squirtle. You got your Prinplup.
were you a Squirtle guy? I was always
love,
Charizard.
I love
Charmander.
Charizard, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
In like Charmander. But Squirtle I always loved just because blue has always been my favorite color. I'd have to agree.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of like a dark midnight kind of purple.
I feel
Okay.
that.
I don't know. It's a good looking color.
Cliff, what about you?
You see, it's tough for me because I kind of bounce on the fence for this
Cliff
one.
has
On
an
the one-
orange vibe. Doesn't he have orange
I
vibes?
do like orange.
I fucking
but
knew
it's
it.
Not my favorite color.
I knew it.
The contenders would be like the Dodge Racing purple that they throw on the Charger and Challengers, or like Bailey said, a midnight purple.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also a big fan of forest green, like the type of green that you see on like a really nice, healthy cedar tree.
Nice.
That
Sure.
kind of green.
Green and purple. Just how I like my Kush.
Gorilla Glue.
Good answers, I think, boys.
Yes.
Carter also asks, "What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?" And I want to say that's from
African
something.
or European? African or European?
Yeah, see.
African or European?
He doesn't go on to say. So I knew it was from something.
No, you dunce. That's the answer to the question. It's from the Holy Grail, Monty Python.
Yeah, again, like I knew he was referring to something. I know that. I just don't know that. You know what I mean?
Freaking.
What?
Hold on.
Bailey's like,
Hold on. When we were kids, and Cliff and I would always, hang out and have our little sleepovers and shit. Every time at dinner, sitting in there with the TV tray after Mom cooks dinner and we're watching Monty Python. Every time. So I knew Cliff.
I was never a big fan of Monty Python.
Really?
Dude, it's the same thing. Like my wife loves SNL. And like I'll watch it with her and I'll giggle sometimes, but like sketch comedy or that skit kind of comedy, I don't know. Maybe it's just like my huge like fan. Like I'm a huge fan of like dark stand-up comedy, like the Louis C.K.'s, the Dave Chappelle's of the world. Like I love that raw kind of like dark comedy and that slapstick shit, Monty Python stuff. I don't know, man. Never been a big fan of that stuff, but that's just me.
I know what you mean.
Let's see. Dylan asks. Oh, this is funny because I remember. So when Starvo or when KO came out and Yuki won that tournament that weekend, I was like, oh shit, boys, we got a new Starvo on our hands, So he's kind of roasting me here, but he says, well, Tyler comparing KO to Starvo, do you guys think something out of his deck will get banned, or will LSS let him run rampant? This was like a knee-jerk reaction type question, I think.
Yep.
I don't think there's anything bannable in the format really at all right now. I think it's wide open. I think every deck can do the thing they're trying to do.
Yeah.
They all can be strong. I mean, I guess if there is a card or his best card is Cast Bones, hands down. Yeah. Like, that card is insane.
You got to build your whole deck around that card, though.
100%, yeah. There's deck costs to having that in your deck. You cannot run a lot of non-attacks.
No.
And I've seen lists that don't even run Blood Rush, which is, that's wild to me. I don't understand that.
That card's too good to not run.
Yeah,
that's the hard thing about it.
I think the only non-attacks you're running are Blood Rush, Cast Bones, and maybe that's it. Maybe Reckless Swing. I know they still probably play that card.
Maybe Berserk.
You definitely still play Reckless.
Well, Berserk is a card I've seen KOs try, but you also have to build your deck kind of around Berserk, right? So you
That's
have to have
the question.
Not a lot of non-attacks. Maybe you run one of the other, Blood Rush or Berserk or something.
You got to go either way, for sure.
Yep. What were you going to say, Cliff? Sorry, I cut you off there.
Well, you definitely want Reckless Swing in KO because, he's a really aggro deck, but you still, if you can have the opportunity to run a class-specific defense reaction, I think you should. And Reckless Swing with KO makes every single one of his attacks a hit for Reckless Swing. Wesley won his first game against that Victor he was playing because of Reckless Swing.
Yeah.
So Reckless Swing is still lurking in the shadows for that. He's killed me with that card a couple times. He killed me with a Reckless Swing when I was on Riptide. Do you know how mad I was about that?
Well, Well, even if you're,
pinged the ping god.
The way Cast Bones reads too is if you rip, let's say 2 cards that are not attack actions, you're still getting +5 damage off of Cast Bones.
Yeah.
That's insane still.
It's a 0 for 5, which, is above
the
great.
other thing about Cast Bones is it doesn't need to have the mites generated off of it. So you can instant discard on Mighty Wind-Up to create your 2 mites and then Cast Bones. Get your 2 whiffs, but you still get up to 6 to get the +6 and the agility.
Yeah.
Yeah, the craziest things I've seen KO do is when they get the 2 action points off the boots and then they just play Cast Bones into an attack. So then they still have the Cast Bone value on the following turn while they attack you. Because a lot of times when they don't have that play, they'll just play Cast Bones, sometimes with a full grip. Sometimes they'll just be I have this full hand. I could they don't have an agility, so they probably don't have the go again or the means to. So then it's the decision is, well, do I attack with this red attack, or do I just play Cast Bones, arsenal it, and just go to the next turn? And most times they'll just play the Cast Bones with a full hand.
Yeah.
But when you activate the boots and have 2 actions, that's where it gets kind of nutty.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking KO was going to be they were going to try to abuse Scab Skins, and you really don't need to roll it very much. You get so many agilities that,
That's what I've been saying. I think the fact that Scab Skins are so inconsistent, and the fact that you have
50-50. It's not terribly inconsistent. It's a 50-50. You're getting more than
not
it's
if you roll
66,
like I
33.
do.
Well, no. If you get a 4, 5, or 6, you get 2 action points. 1, 2, or 3, you don't.
You're toast. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's a coin flip to get the.
Then you only get 1 action point, and then you lose it because that's
no.
Your
Yeah, you run
point.
the risk of
losing.
Yeah,
I guess,
but if you roll a 2 or a
it's-
3, nothing happens. You just gain 1. If you roll a 1, obviously you're fucked. But if you roll a 4, 5, or 6, which is that's half of the dice. So it's technically a 50-50.
Yeah.
But there was I played against one KO that actually rolled Scab Skins every turn, every single turn, and he whiffed once, but he still ended up beating me that game because he was just pumping out these action points, dude, and he didn't even need the fucking agility tokens.
Yeah.
And it was.
It's just nice to have that 3 block. 100%. Like most of that legendary equipment.
Yeah, all of it has battle worn and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Brutes have a really good kit.
They do.
They have a really, really strong armor kit right now, I think, too. The
Brutes
Scowling
have
Flesh
an
Bag is fucking
insane
nuts.
kid.
The new gloves are
They
great.
got the Apex Bone Breakers, Scabbies, and then honestly, what do you want to run as the chest piece?
Honestly,
do you just want to run Tunic?
Yeah, I think most of them are
Or
running
do you
Tunic
want to
right
do
now.
Barkbone?
See,
No.
Barkbone's still a battle worn
No.
one, and then you get the chance at getting more. But
No,
you
if you're
do
gonna
get
go
the
for
more,
if you're gonna go for the one turn, like get the big amount of resource, you just run Hardened Cross Strap.
Wes asked me that same question, and I was like, dude, just honestly run Tunic and like all your matchups.
No, it's probably so like. I'm sure some KOs are trying the Heart and Cross Strap, or they're maybe bringing that in for like the super aggro, like I want to kill my opponent as fast as I can.
If you're playing like a Fi or
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
some
If you're
of those
playing
guys,
Guardians
yeah.
or someone that's going to be blocking you, you play the Tunic for the long game to get the more than the 2 resources. But Heart and Cross Strap does what Barkbone does, like what Barkbone
But
wants to
better.
do, but it does it every time.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to rely on dice with Heart and Cross Strap. You just get the 2 cost, and
Well, I guess if you got your like ready to roll,
you're not playing ready to roll in fucking KO. You're
Nobody's
thinking,
playing that card.
I see those cogs moving up there.
I'm thinking about his.
You're thinking
new,
old-
I'm
you're thinking old
Well,
KO.
even his new KO specialization is like re-roll a die or something like
yeah,
that.
but again, like
Nobody's running that.
no,
Nobody's running
It's
that.
weird
I'm gonna
because,
do
like-
it just to run the knucklehead and re-roll a fucking knucklehead for 6 intellect.
let's go. You show up with KO, you got the knucklehead. Your opponent's like, wait, what's going on here?
What are you doing?
You're just a dice rolling KO deck.
Let's go.
Because I suppose like you
Josh
still
has
get to play
6
his old
intellect.
specialization too.
You do.
Yeah.
So
Gosh, you know what? We should almost try to find a build, like a dice rolling KO build, because I'm sure you can just build.
I'm
some
gonna do it.
cool, You should.
I'm gonna do it.
You should just to fuck around and play.
I got my
Please,
my
Josh.
UPF KO. That's just jank, and then I'll build a rolling KO for Blitz. I don't know if I'll do a CC build on that.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild, but I will. I'll do it, Cliff, just for you.
Okay. Well, our next
And
question
Ovaltine. And
comes
Ovaltine.
Yeah. He's our KO, our OG KO player. Next question comes from Squidward. That's Drew, correct?
Yes, it is.
Squidward asked, do you guys think that there's a lot of overreaction to certain heroes and cards early in sets and how that impacts the card market?
Most
Yeah,
definitely.
I mean, yeah, short answer is yes. There's obviously a long-winded answer here, but I think the biggest part that plays into it is if the cards are being used. You know, the collectible cold foils will always like hold value and have a price. Did you guys see the Singularity buyout, by the way? Y'all see that?
1200?
Yeah, that was nuts. What is
Wow.
it, like 12 or 1300?
Well, the other day it was like the lowest was 1,200, but like the last sold I think was still around 600 or
Yep.
500 or 600 or something. So I mean, it's a little deceptive. It's obviously not valued at 1,200 until someone buys it, and then people can ask for that. But yeah, it did get bought out, and I mean that's actually a good example of what I was saying, where like if it's collectible, it will hold value
No matter
or
what.
most likely go up over time because Teklo's not being played
Craig's
at
sake,
all.
even
So-
Emperor, the Marvel
yeah.
Emperor,
No,
is
right.
still at like 800, 900 bucks.
Probably not being played very much. You know,
No.
not a lot of people really like focusing on Blitz right now. So those cards are just like collectible, like are very very highly collectible. But then you look at cards like Cast Bones, like isn't that still like probably a $20 card, $15, $20 card or something?
You got some of those Majestics that are just pretty bonkers, and they're gonna hold their value.
Yep. And it's really, I think, largely due to just playability in heavy hitters. You can see how these cards are actually impacting the meta.
And not just one hero, multiple heroes in that class.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the playability in all the heroes in that class, not just one.
What do you guys think, Bailey, Cliff?
Do you want me to take this one first, Bailey?
Yeah, go for it.
Alrighty. So I think when they're spoiling cards, you get the lists released every week, and then there's a certain Majestic that has a text line that'll trigger a lot of thoughts in people, and they go, "Yo, that card's sick." That's probably going to be like the money card, kind of how we thought the Ninja Tome was going to be. We thought that was going to be a big player. Maybe not so much on Josh's end, but me, Bailey, and Ty were in pretty strong agreement that we thought that was going to be a decently expensive card. And we
I
were.
think it still is, though. It's still like
20
20,
bucks.
30 bucks, is it not?
Yeah, it's 20.
No.
Is it
Check
down
again.
to 10?
You should just
Check,
look it up live.
check.
I'll look it up live right now.
You guys look it up, and
I got
wanna
it
hear
right
your
now.
reactions.
Hold on. Give me about 3 more seconds.
It's gonna shock your pants off, Bailey. And Tyler, holy crap! I couldn't remember your name for a second.
$2.25
Am
for
I
the
that
low right
forgettable,
now.
bro? Am I that forgettable, Glitch?
Yeah.
$2.25 on the low right now.
Are you fucking kidding?
Are
No,
you
dead
kidding?
serious.
It's $2 card.
$2.25.
Ooh, why did that tank so much? Well, maybe it's just because they're realizing it's actually like a liability sometimes.
Yeah, I mean the market value is at $3.19, but they're selling on the low for $2.25. You can find them at.
I think the other big thing there is everyone was kind of excited for a new Katsu, and we wanted to see like Katsu come out swinging after that card dropped. We're like, yes, get Katsu out of here. Let's see some like them bring in some new ninjas, which they are, but KO and Victor and Kasai just had a lot more meat, where Katsu just didn't.
Yeah.
There was a lot more that they had going for, especially the interaction that KO gets off of all the blue 5-power brute or the dual class cards is just insane. Victor gets this whole cool thing where he's getting a bunch of gold and breaking them to draw cards, do all this. Kasai gets to do her thing where she gets to create all the copper and do the blood on her hands and create her cell swords.
Yeah.
Tatsu kind of he gets this card right, but he doesn't have the viability that the others do due to just how they work. They've just got a lot more operation going on for them.
This card is just inconsistent. I think that's just mainly what's going on here. Like,
Yeah.
with Wes's. Or go ahead, Bailey. What were you saying?
That's I mean, really, what's gonna make or break a lot of those Majestics is like, can they do their thing consistently?
And the harsh thing about Ancestral Harmony too is that you do have to hit the right combo card.
I guess that's a good point. Well, I mean, you can still play it at the end of your chain for free damage, though, right? No matter what.
Yeah.
Like, you're not getting the trigger, or you're not getting, like, the chain.
Like Lord of Wind, if you go all the way to the Lord of Wind combo or Dishonor combo, it doesn't have go again. So it's not like you're throwing it. You have to break your Snapdragons for it.
Right. Yeah, I suppose
I
you would.
suppose, yeah.
And that's just a waste of value. To
Well,
be
a lot
honest,
of those combo cards just have go again naturally, though, don't
because
they?
I'd rather just go,
No, a lot of them have
'cause-
go again conditionally.
you
Yeah, I
have
suppose
to.
you're right. I
Them
suppose
do,
you're right,
actually.
Bailey.
I don't know. I've been looking into Ninja a lot lately.
Because imagine if you rip your E-Strike off the top too.
Oh,
Toast.
right. Yeah,
Toast.
he plays E-Strikes in his deck.
Can't even use it
Yeah.
because it has to be a combo card.
Yep. And, like, the damage you're getting is usually not a lot. Like, the card, if you can get it up to, like, being a 0 for 4, like, that's actually really good. That's, like, the ceiling. You're not attacking a ton of times after you play this card, it feels like. Or just in testing with Dylan. I was not impressed by this card. I don't think he was very impressed with it either after testing a bunch. He was thinking about getting off Katsu and going on to Phi this weekend, and I don't know. I think he should stay on Katsu. I think Katsu's still really, really good. But yeah, that was all kind of Wes's question, wasn't it? Are we?
No, that was
Drew's question.
about the value of cards.
That's actually
The playability. Yep.
Yeah, I hope we answered that question for you.
So the
Drew.
biggest takeaway for that, just to condense all that waffling that we had. The main takeaway from that is, although you might see some fluctuation in card price when the card is spoiled, the main factor for them, especially the Majestics, which is what I think he's referring to, is it viable and will it do what it's trying to do?
Yep.
That's the main takeaway from that question.
Yep. Ancestral would be a good example of how it's not performing, and Cast Bones would be a good example of how it is performing.
And I mean, even pre-existing cards, like when they spoiled Kasai, Blood on Her Hands, the foil was like a $30 card almost.
Yeah. Well, did you see Cashin's go up too?
Yeah, Cashin's at like an $8 card
Yeah, it's almost
right now.
$10. Yep.
$10 right now, aren't they?
Yeah, like 8 to 10.
I should go
That's
pick all
insane.
mine. I'm sure I have fucking 50 of those somewhere, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I should look. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look this week.
Do it.
Okay, we have another question. This one is also from Dylan, and then we have another one from Dylan. Again, these are not all back-to-back, like same week from him.
No.
This is just our monthly kind of question mailbag type of thing we're going to try to stick to. He asked last week, he said, what are your guys' thoughts on hard cases versus just double sleeving your equipment?
Oh, I will hard case all of my legendary equipment at least.
Yeah. I used to kind of be a big hater when I would see people with the hard sleeves or the hard cases until I got like a cold foil skull cap and my gold foil bracers. And so it's like, yeah, I mean, I'll put the hard cases on like the high value cards for sure. But
I mean, you can still fit a sleeve inside of the hard case most of the time.
yeah.
And
You don't want to put it in there raw dog, dude.
I know Ovaltine responded to it too about like the Japanese mini snaps. The mini snaps are amazing. The fact that they can fit in your Game Genic boxes too,
That's what's huge.
amazing.
Yeah, dude, I know.
Best thing ever.
I wish the magnetic one touches would fit in your deck boxes more. That's the issue that I usually run into, which makes me not even fucking want to have them. But I'm also not going to roll up with gold foils and a cold foil skull cap and not have them hard case. So I have to like carry them in a separate like area with in my bag. It's so dumb.
I got them on most of like my dragons just displaying, and like I remember buying those right away for like most of my Starvo shit, and I had to keep all my Starvo shit somewhere else, and I was like, fuck, dude. It got so annoying.
It's annoying. I mean, you just have to get a good box for it, though.
Yeah. Then I went and found the mini snaps, and I fell in love. They're the best things ever. Highly recommended.
Okay. Well, that one kind of does that one. And then this will be our last question, and we will probably try to get the fuck out of here after that. Dylan also asked yesterday, what do you guys do for back-to-back big tournaments for adjusting your decks? Do you run the same list in hopes to have better turnout, or do you revamp or full send? I'd like to think we full send around here quite a bit.
Bailey?
Usually I just full send.
Oh, yeah.
No changes, nothing. I'll just fuck it.
Bailey doesn't even look at his list. He's like, oh, wait, I have that card in here. He doesn't fill out his deck list.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely just full fucking send. Like as long as there's no like illegal cards in my list, sometimes I won't even look at it.
Yeah. I think a big part of it for me is just like how I felt the deck performed. This is actually kind of a good. I was going to ask you guys this. His question honestly just reminded me of this. There was not a Kano in the room this last weekend. I have 6 spots in my deck for Kano.
Woof. I feel like that was a missed opportunity, to be honest.
Well, it makes me think like, do I just like add more poppers or something to like shore up the Dromai match? Because I kind of know Dromais will be there. Like like some Dromais will be there.
Yeah.
I don't know if Kanos will be there. I'm guessing if we're gonna go off of this last weekend, no. But I also like don't want to run that risk of like auto lossing to Kano. But like, do I cut the Rusted Relics and Oasis for like Dromai help and Prism help, and then like get bit by a Kano? I would hate that.
Honestly, I think you just...
It's probably safer, though, to cut the Kano stuff.
Maybe get rid of the Rusted Relics and just keep your
No.
Oasis.
No. If I'm going to get rid of anything, it's Oasis, because Oasis legitimately comes in only against Kano. I use Rusted Relic into Dromai and into Prism, into some of those decks.
You're right.
It was really funny. Andrew Rothermel and I were outside and we were talking, or not really. I mean, I was kind of overhearing, or he was overhearing something about how I was like, I was joking around how I had a plan for Kanos, because we were talking about my deck. And he's like, what do you got, the Rusted Relics in there? And I was like, dude, you called it. Like, how did you even...
Absolutely.
I don't know. I felt like fucking everyone sleeps on that card or doesn't even know what it does.
Absolutely. And maybe you just get rid of, well, it's hard to say get rid of 2 to go down to 1.
That's what I would do, though. I would get rid of... The problem, though, again, is like a Vincent or a Viserai. Like, if I play Vincent or Viserai on the off chance and I only have the 1, like, I'd much rather have the 3 to try to establish.
Well, wouldn't you just keep your Achilles Accelerator? No, because you kind of want that in
you want the Singularity plan into Rune Blades. You just, like, if I only have the 1 Rusted Relic, that means I have to play around it on the first cycle when I have it in hand, which can be, like, clunky sometimes if I'm trying to, like, establish an Evo. But, like, if I have 3 of them, I can kind of, like, either play the very first one, or if I pitch that first one, then I still know I have 2 coming. You know what I mean?
guess, yeah, get rid of your Oasis, throw in maybe Junkyard Dog or some shit. You got Junkyard Dog in there?
I actually have those 6, the 3 blues, 3 reds. I was thinking maybe like Liquid Cool Mayhem Reds.
Yeah.
Because those become 0 for 6s, and they're poppers. I don't know if just like upping the popper count in my deck is even going to really do anything, though. That's the thing. Like, some turns I'd have multiple poppers against Joseph, and it just didn't matter. Because of cards like Mirage Guy or Mirror Guy and Passing Mirage.
Technically, if they get out a Thamai, can you do anything on their turn? Like,
no.
instant? You
Yeah.
can't?
The window, actually, he did play a Thamai against me, and I responded to play one of my Evos from advantage, because there is a window when they play the card before it actually resolves where I have an opportunity to play instance.
But once it's out, though,
No. Once it hits the battlefield, like
that's that.
Yeah, like, well, I have to kill it.
Yeah.
On my main phase.
Yeah.
Then,
You just leveler it or some shit.
Well,
right?
so leveler only gets up to 3 damage, and I think that thing has 4 health. Pretty sure. It might have 3 health. I thought the might had 4, though. Either way, I have to have like all 4 fucking Evos to have the leveler get up to 3. Oh, well, okay. I actually have I bring in the plasma pistol against Dromai. I've been doing that now with the induction chambers.
It is 4 life.
Yeah. So I would need like an induction chamber to give a go again.
Mm-hmm.
Pistol twice for 2.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess not to go on a long-winded answer for Dylan's question. I think it just all depends. There's really no right or wrong answer.
I feel like it's really just like you play the first time, you get your matchups, you play your matchups, and then you kind of just tweak maybe a tiny bit, and you find cards that are like,
see the meta, what people are playing too.
Yeah, you find the cards that didn't really benefit you too much, and you're like, okay, fuck this card, get it out of here.
I will say too, going from tournament to tournament, players switch decks a lot. So
all the time.
Maybe this week, I know our I think he's part owner of Dumpster Cat, Anthony. He's a avid Kano player. Every time I see him, he's on Kano, and this weekend he was on Victor.
Really?
Yep. And so that's another thing where it's like, I saw him on Victor, and I was like, oh man, I wonder if there's like no Kanos in the room. And it started making me feel bad about my like having those 6 spots. Like, man, I could really like use some help in other areas, probably.
Especially the popper aspect, like you were saying.
I mean, yeah, maybe I like cut a couple Oasis or something, and maybe keep 1 or 2 or something. And
One's nice for that Aether Wildfire
Yeah,
trade.
you just maybe Arsenal that 1, because maybe that's the ticket. You just,
because if they double Aether Wildfire, you're still able to block out 1.
The thing is, if you're playing against a good Kano player and they realize what I'm doing, they'll just pitch stack and just not even attack me on my main phase and like let me, like they'll just like sit there and just continuously like pitch stack until they double ether me at the end of the game, or double Wildfire. Like,
yeah,
like I don't think I can fatigue a good Kano player. It's going to be like really tough for like a really well experienced pitch stacker, I feel like. And I'm not saying like we have those players in the area, but I know Anthony's killed me on Kano before, so
yeah.
But seeing him not play Kano makes me think, man, I can probably afford to cut some of these cards. But it all depends, man.
Yep.
It all depends.
Yep. Yes, sir.
All right.
I would just be cautious on that, because I imagine you'll see a lot of repeat faces at this next tournament.
Yeah.
And I imagine that a lot of them will probably be like, oh, there wasn't a Kano.
Yeah.
I wonder if I brought Kano.
I also would
just be careful.
Yeah. I also would love to play a Kano and win at one of these and to have people see it, because it's kind of one of those things where you're like, oh, no, I beat Kanos. It's like, yeah, okay, shut up. No, you don't. Like, no, I have. I swear to God, I have.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about you and I.
No, yeah, I know.
I've beaten Kanos on Talishar before and stuff.
They go, what the fuck?
Yeah, they never know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
But again, it's if I'm playing against like fucking Majin Bay, he's just gonna pitch stack my ass and not let me do anything.
Brendan Patrick, if he's out there. I mean, I know he's casting recently, but
well, I think he's getting back into playing. We listen to Arsenal Pass. We're big Arsenal Pass fans here, and yeah, I think he's getting out of casting. He had some issues this last tournament with the whole casting world, and I think he's wanting to play. Which
it's hard to not play.
One of our judges, Danny, he said the same thing to me this last week, and he's like, I think I'm just gonna try to play more and quit judging and stuff. So that was cool to see Danny. Shout out to him too. We got to see him this weekend. one of our old locals. But yeah, I think that kind of about does it. You guys got anything else?
Nope,
Nah.
not on my end.
Really?
Well, sweet. Sean, go play KO. Tanner, go play KO.
Everybody.
Everyone just play KO this weekend. Everyone at the shop going to the RTNs. Bailey, just play KO. Oh wait, you have to work.
Nah, I go nom 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 to KO.
Yeah, probably. You probably do more damage than KO on a consistent. Well, yeah, I mean, you're the crazy max V dash with levelers.
Mhm.
So.
Once when me and Wesley were testing, it was not favorable into KO.
But I feel like doesn't KO have like the item destruction and all that bullshit? Or maybe they're not running these cards.
Doesn't really matter for dash. The items, yeah, they help out quite a bit and they can be pretty critical. But I mean, if you blow up a boom grenade on me and that's what fantastic. I'm just gonna throw 20 at you anyway.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right.
Yeah.
Well, all right, boys, let's get the fuck out of here.
Absolutely. Well, we always like to say thank you all for listening. We appreciate it. You can always join the Discord. We always have the link in the show notes. You can send us an email at bigdeckenergycast@gmail.com. That's in the show notes as well. But, I think we had some good talks today. Excited for the new sets, and we hope to catch you guys next week. As we like to say, signing off. Peace.
We'll see you next week.
As always, it's a pleasure.